Let's spend a little time reviewing our U.S. Constitution. A good place to begin is with a review of the preamble. We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings and liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. Let's look at the requirements of a good government. Joseph Story, who was considered the father of American jurisprudence, who spent probably more time on the Supreme Court of the United States than almost anybody, wrote more about the Constitution than almost anybody. This was in the early 1800s. As a result, he's considered the father of American jurisprudence. Let's look at what he said in his commentaries back in 1833. A good government implies two things. First, fidelity to the objects of government. So number one, we need to know what those objects are, don't we? Number two, a knowledge of the means by which those objects can be best attained. So we need to understand the means also. So the objects of governments and the means of how we're going to accomplish that. Understanding the purpose of the preamble is important to understanding good government. Justice Story also explained the purpose of the preamble as follows. It explains the nature, the extent, and the application. So let's look at the preamble again to see if it has any new meaning based on this information. We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution of the United States. So let's parse this a little bit. Under the Articles of Confederation, it was we the states. Now we brought it back to we the people, because we the people are the sovereigns, the earthly sovereigns in this nation. Critically important change here. To establish justice. There was no national judicial system, so we didn't have a system of justice. Ensure domestic tranquility. The worst part of our history, the most traumatic part of our history, was from the Revolutionary War to the Constitution. We were coming apart at the seams, folks. Our commerce had ground to a halt because they're setting tariffs at the boundaries of the states. They were like individual sovereign countries, which they were, setting boundaries at the ports with things coming and going. Our commerce had ground to a halt. Remember that old saying, not worth a continental? That was our money. It was worthless. That's why they called it not worth a continental. That's why where that saying came from. So we needed to ensure domestic tranquility and make some changes so we could get along and have better commerce and grow and prosper. To provide for the common defense. This is the application. The application here is to provide for the common defense. The application is to promote the general welfare, not provide for it. There's nothing in our Constitution that authorizes anything charitable. That's for families, for individuals, for churches, and for states and communities to do that, not the federal government. To secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity. The entire purpose of the federal government was to do that, to secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity. And then we, the people, do ordain and establish this Constitution of the United States of America, because it was at the state ratifying conventions as the people actually ratified this, not the legislatures. I hope this puts a little more perspective on the preamble. It's important. It's a history lesson, along with the extent of what's to be done by the Constitution. It's not very many things we're talking about here, is it? And the application. Very important. Good place to start, isn't it? The preamble.